would be crowded or not, they ended their sentences differently, with the plain form plus desho. Let's see another example of the plain form being used with desho.
あ、ここですよ。
ミネさん、家にいるでしょうか？
いるでしょう。
はい、今開けます。
ミネさんいますよ。
本当よかったですね。
やあ、いらっしゃい。さあ、どうぞ。
お邪魔し
お
ます。
邪魔します。
Were you able to follow that? In this scene, in what sentences were they speculating and wondering? Kaiho-san and Sugihara-san have come to visit Mine-san, but at this point they still don't know if he's at home or not.
ミネさん、家にいるでしょうか？
いるでしょう。
ミネさん、家にいるでしょうか？
いるでしょう。
Here we heard them wondering and speculating about whether Mine-san was at home. This iru is the plain form of imasu.
ミネさん、家にいるでしょうか？
いるでしょう。
はい、今開けます。
Then they heard his voice and it became clear that he was at home. What did Kaiho-san say then?
ミネさんいますよ。
本当よかったですね。
He used imasu, didn't he?
ミネさんいますよ。
本当よかったですね。
やあ、いらっしゃい。さあ、どうぞ。
お邪魔し
お
ます。
邪魔します。
Well, let's see a few more examples of what people say when they're speculating about the future.
明日晴れるでしょうか？
ええ、多分晴れるでしょう。
では明日の天気です。明日は晴れるでしょう。
Tomorrow's weather is something that no one can predict. And so in talking about it, we're forced to speculate because no one is sure what's going to happen. Here, a worried Sugihara-san is asking about the weather.
明日晴れるでしょうか？明日晴れるでしょうか？
She asked, "Will it clear up tomorrow?" And the form of Kaiho-san's answer shows that he is only speculating.
ええ、多分晴れるでしょう。
Tabun means probably and is very often used with verbs in this form.
ええ、多分晴れるでしょう。
The TV weatherman used the same form.
明日は晴れるでしょう。明日は晴れるでしょう。
Did you notice what was hanging outside Sugihara-san's window? This is called a teruteru bozu, and it's a good luck doll which is supposed to make the rain stop. When children want good weather the next day, they often make one of these and hang it from the window frame. Here's another example from the skit.
きれい。加藤さん、お昼には芦ノ湖に着くでしょうか？
ええ、お昼前に着くでしょ
加藤さん、お昼には芦ノ湖に着くでしょうか？
う。ええ、お昼前に着くでしょう。
As she looked at the view of Lake Ashinoko from a distance, Miss Okada asked Taro, "Will we arrive at Ashinoko by noon?"
加藤さん、お昼には芦ノ湖に着くでしょうか？加藤さん、お昼には芦ノ湖に着くでしょうか？
Ohiru ni wa means by noon. The verb used is tsuku, which means arrive. Taro answered her question by saying this.
ええ、お昼前に着くでしょう。ええ、お昼前に着くでしょう。
Ohirumaini means before noon. Once again, the form of his reply shows that Taro was making an assumption about something that he was not completely sure of. His answer contains the nuance, will probably arrive. Incidentally, the particle ni appears 3 times in these 2 sentences, once to mark a place and twice to mark times of day. No matter what verb you're using when you're wondering or speculating about the future, the way to do it is to add desho after the plain form of that verb.
空いているでしょう。着くでしょう。晴れるでしょう。いるでしょう。明日の天気は曇り。時々雨。
Now, what if you think someone probably won't do something, or something probably won't happen? Watch this.
ミネさんもプールへ行くでしょうか。
いえ、多分行かないでしょう。
ミネさん、プールへ行きますか？
To ask Kaiho-san what he thought of the probability of Mine-san's going to the pool with them, Sugihara-san said this.
ミネさんもプールへ行くでしょうか？行くでしょうか？行くでしょうか？
And this is how Kaiho-san stated his negative assumption that Mine-san probably wouldn't go.
いえ、多分行かないでしょう。行かないでしょう。行かないでしょう。
Ikanai is the plain negative form of the verb meaning to go. Do you remember what its corresponding polite form is? That's right, ikimasen. Now, let's see a similar example with the verb suru, which means to do, or in this case, to play.
ミネさんもテニスをするでしょうか？
いえ、多分しないでしょう。
ミネさん、テニスしますか？
This time, Sugihara-san was wondering whether Mine-san was going to play tennis. Here's what she asked.
ミネさんもテニスをするでしょうか？するでしょうか？するでしょうか？
Kaiho-san then used a negative verb to say that Mine-san probably wouldn't play.
いえ、多分しないでしょう。しないでしょう。しないでしょう。
This is the plain negative form of suru plus desho. The plain form of shimasen is shinai. Let's see one more example. Here, the verb for come is used.
ミネさん、来るでしょうか？
いえ、多分来ないでしょう。
ミネさん、来ませんか？
This time, she was wondering whether Mine-san would come to their table. Listen to what she asked Kaiho-san.
ミネさん、来るでしょうか？来るでしょうか？来るでしょうか？
And here's what Kaiho-san said to state his idea that Mine-san probably wouldn't come.
いえ、多分来ないでしょう。来ないでしょう。来ないでしょう。
In his reply, we find the plain negative form of kuru used with